Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. Today's episode we are of course going through the rebuild that we are trying to apply to an aging Atletico Madrid side. We have moved here and if you did not watch last episode to see how we got here, go and check that out and also go and check out how we ended the season with Dortmund. In today's episode we're going to go through the squad, how it looks, what we're going to try and achieve. And obviously the first game of the season, which is against Real San Sebastian or Real Sociedad, which is only in a few games' time. So we might have to put in a few more friendlies here as well because I've come in very late in the piece of pre-season. With that being said, if you enjoy the content, you like the fact that we've moved to Atletico Madrid, give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and do leave a comment down below. And let's get into this without further ado. Now, if you did watch the end of the last episode where we rattled on about the squad and me in the Twitch chat about 11 o'clock at night, you would know what I'm about to say. However, big thing about this is when you look at this team here, there is a lot of options that are okay, that are not great, that don't fit my style of football. Piero Hinnicap is our best player and probably will be for the season, even though he's getting a bit older. He's still very, very well done. And we have got Fernando Campo, who I've actually moved into the first team to be part of pre-season because I don't see a world where we're going to get really good depth with the money that we've got, and we've got more issues in the first team. So you might see Fernando Campo play. Now, we did break down the squad very, very quickly. There is two players that obviously I've signed already that I'm just going to take here. After talking with Twitch and looking at the squad, this is it. All these guys down here we have to sell, which I'm about to do, apart from the two that I've just signed, because they're not good enough. You got the like of Ferran Torres, who they just signed, which is a bad signing by the AI because he's getting old, he's getting worse. But as a backup, okay. Dribble I've called up, but he's not particularly great. So straight away you see the problem. Sergio Dest is in the same boat. Old, aging, and not particularly great. But these are the guys that are not too bad. They've signed Lucas on a free, which is not too bad this season. Den Ulic, yet again, another centre-back that is not bad, but rather he be a backup. Because you look at him and you go, as much as he's okay, he's not quick, he's not technical. He's another one of why Atletico have been struggling in the save a little bit to make an indent into Real Madrid and Barca. And the goal for this year, looking at this squad, is we don't have a lot of money. We have 51 mil, which when you need a right back, a defensive midfielder, a striker, two backup centre backs, or backup full back, and you need to inject a little bit of youth because the team's very old, then yeah, like straight away 30 plus goalkeeper, 33, a 34-year-old centre back, and a 33-year-old that's your best player. Alberto's a bit of a weird one because I don't like him either, but as you can see, he's a fullback on support. Is okay. The plan is to get a really, really, really aggressive and attacking right back and play Alberto this season, see how he goes, as a very defensively minded fullback. Not quick, doesn't have great work rate getting up and down, has okay technicals but not the greatest. The reason why I like him is he is one of the most mentally switched on footballers that I like to see. He's also been at Atletico very long, he loves a big game and he's very consistent. Play like that, even though he's not particularly great, it's probably something that will sit in, be part of a backfill that hopefully keeps a lot of clean sheets and would be good to see as well. And it takes the pressure off. Okay, we've got to find a first team left back. I can now maybe go and invest in the younger left back as well. Right back, I need to speak about a player that we just missed out on, and then we go and have a look at the DLP and the advanced ball, which you may have just seen on screen there quickly. Now, unfortunately, Jai Carlos, we've bid 24 mil for him to move from Dortmund to Marseille. He said yes, he accepted the contract, and here we go. We thought we were going to get him, and then Spurs, who's just under new management, by the way, I've just made a 22 mil bid plus for him, and I've got to pick him up, and Arnie Slot is going to get his man, which is unfortunate because I would have loved to have got him in. Now, two players that I have signed, one you're definitely going to know, and one you won't. One's Tyrone. Everybody knows Tyrone. I'm now captain for Brazil. The other one is Danny Schmidt, and you're like, Damien, who's Danny Schmidt? Should you know him? You should, if you were watching the streams, which the links are down below. If you're having a look here, one's on loan from Dortmund and one is a pickup from the Dortmund second squad. Tyrone, as you can have a look here, they put him back on loan. They weren't going to use him, which is ludicrous. I couldn't believe that Dortmund were going to use him at 18, 20 I should say. He played 29 games at Bayer 04. Would have been a very good backup rotationary player for Dortmund at a minimum. Decided they weren't going to use him, so they put him on loan. I picked him up. He's already a 3-star player in the Spanish First Division because he is very good at what he does. I've loaned him for 2 years. I'm paying 80% of his wage, and I have an optional future fee of 88 million to sign. And if we get some money in this save, which potentially could happen, and in 2 years' time, if I really want him, I've got a trigger I can pull to get him in for 88 mil, which I think would be a bit of a steal, to be fair. Because I think he's about to develop into one of our best players. Great on the ball, great vision, great physicals. Will start in the defensive midfield role as a deeper line playmaker and support, alongside Esco, who looks like a pretty good Segundo Volante. For me, it's about get the team in as good as it can be, and that's that. Now, we also need to speak about Danny Schmidt. He is a very good striker that I didn't want because I wanted Ibrich, which I mentioned in yesterday's episode. But by the time I already signed here, because it took so long, Newcastle came in for him and picked him up. It was on a cheap fee because I was purposely not renewing his contract so I could pick him up. He would have been the perfect striker, technique, vision, dribbling, finishing, first touch, pace. He would have been ideal. Fortunately, didn't find it. Now, Danny's a bit of a weird signing. I know we don't have a younger bench. Ferran Torres is someone I'm going to look to move on next year. I think for this year I'm going to give him a go, and then next year he'll be the backup striker. Comes in as a 3-star striker, which if you have a look is a good first division player. Loves the big game as well, which is nice, but that's a little bit of consistency. But if you have a look, when I came in to Dortmund, I loaned him to Braga. He scored 14 goals in 33 matches, 28 starts. And for Rangers, he started 34 games with 15 goals and got over a 7 in both. I just think he's the sort of guy that if you get around a bit of talent, he could do some damage. He's fairly quick, he's got great composure, he's got good flair, he's got great finishing, he can dribble, and he's got good technique. Should equally scores goals. I really think that this is a guy that, if we can't find a world-class striker or a striker that's going that way, then this guy will start this season, so be it. But because I don't want to particularly use Ferran Torres, if we find a better striker, I think he's the perfect backup striker of a good level that can do the business and be quite quick. He's also left-footed, so if we need to throw him out on the right-hand side, as an inside forward, he could do a job as well. So, without further ado, that's the first part of this episode done. 7 minutes into it. We need 2 backup centre-backs, at least a backup left-back, and a starting right-back that's really good. I have noticed in the last episode, but I'll just mention again, I don't think Sears is a particularly great right winger, but it's better in the hole. Joe Felix, I don't particularly want to play, but we will probably make him upset because he doesn't have the physicality anymore, but he's very good in the hole as well. And Joe Pedro's getting a bit older, but out of all the players, still got very good mentals and technicals, so I'm going to use him out on the left-hand side for the season. But yet again, those 3... next year, I want him on the bench, or if not gone, which definitely tells you that this season and next season, there is going to be a lot of change at Atletico Madrid. Welcome back to YouTube. We've got a couple of signings to talk about. First one's first is Joe Victor, 16.75 mil coming out of the 38 mil budget that we have. He's a big name signing, and in he comes from Palmeiras. That is correct, it's Joe Victor. There is a massive problem with this squad, and we are in massive trouble, I have to say this as well. Joe Victor comes in, send him on an intensive language course. We obviously will book him into here, and that fills up our foreign spots, and I do have a bid for another foreign player. He's a very good footballer, is Joe Victor. I think he's fantastic, and he will be playing as a Segundo Volante on support, back a line. The game reckons that he's only good as a deep line playmaker on support defend. Definitely do not think so. If you have a look at him, with the ability to go forward that he has, have to do this and play him with Segundo Volante alongside Tyrone. He's got great passing, great technique, great free kick taking and first touch. Loves getting forward with the anticipation, the composure, with great flair and decent off the ball. Also fairly well-rounded in physicality. He has been playing for Palmeiras. I've not seen him in any of my Brazilian scouting. But yeah, 15 mil, in he comes. That was his release fee. Was too good to pass up. What that allows me to do is move Nesco in as a backup defender, which is great. And then allows me to move Victor into here. And that leaves us a couple of Brazilians doing things that they love to do. I think that both players are pretty good. We're looking for players to be 3-star plus, and off they go. Secondly as well, this guy called Ditter, I didn't see when we were going through our squads the last 2 weeks here in pre-season. He was just sitting there, and I went to go send him and said, hang on, he's decent. Yeah, he is. He's also got great physicals and not bad. He's right-footed, but he just scored a brace and set up another goal in the preseason game just gone. So it's a pretty good little side here. What it does mean at the moment is that if this was my team for the season, I would be a little bit whatever. There's obviously a couple of injuries in this team as well at the moment. Song's not fit. We've also signed a backup left back as well who's not fit. And yeah, so just to recap, Tyrone, Dunny, Song, you guys have all seen. Pretty sure I've told you guys that Song's come in. If not, there's Song from Dortmund. I brought him in and he's injured for 20 mil. And Victor. If I don't believe I showed you Ahmad Okafor this morning. I loaned him in from Leipzig. Very good backup left back with potential to be very, very good and better than what Alberto is. 6'5" as well. Very good physicals. He just broke his arm or he sprained his knee. One of the two. Sprained his knee. 19.75 mil in 2 years' time if I want to sign him. We only got him on loan for 12.5k a week. I will take it. So that's not too bad there as well. 9 mil fee in total plus 19 mil if we sign it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that too. So pretty good stuff there in terms of how the team looks at the moment. We're in a precarious position, and this is what I wanted to bring up in this little bit too. We are currently live on stream. Links down below. This is a little bit whatever with this episode because I'm a bit frazzled in how the AI has built this squad. We've got 21 mil and only 177% in wage. I've just realised that Vasil's here on 50k a week, and he doesn't want to really leave. Julio Font is here on 120k a week, and he's only a decent player. I don't understand how he's here on that much money. I understand that he's a club regen, whatever, but this guy should not be worth anywhere near this, and I can't afford to have this sitting in the club. I also want to bring up the case of Joe Pedro's on 245k a week. If we go by wage, Pierre Hittercap's on 325k a week. Flavo's on 205. Like, I don't understand what this is. Like, I understand at 33 you're still a good footballer, but no way. I understand at 245k you're a decent footballer, but no way. I understand that, buddy, at 34 you're a decent footballer, but no way. I cannot believe the amount of money they're spending. They signed Ferran Torres for 105k a week as a impact sub player. There is going to be definitely a lot of me trying to cull this wage at the moment. Positions we still need when we go back here, YouTube, is either a first choice right back, because I went for Joe Carlos from Brazil and he ended up going to Spurs and I'm livid, or a backup right back. I ideally wanted a better backup defender, but they just signed this guy on a free and he doesn't want to leave the football club because he just signed on a free, so I'm going to have to use him as the backup centre back. If I was to get Song into the team and Okafor into the team, just want to show you guys what my potential best team would look like. Which, to be fair, if I was going to say what my best team looks like, these guys might get a bit of a shock. But I actually think it's that. Pedro maybe stays, but if he doesn't want to stay, I want to get rid of him. Joe Felix is still here at 63k a week. I could almost fathom playing Joe Felix because of that. And then no more Pedro. And that's kind of how we line the team up. Just kind of like this. Song learns the role. Decent. We keep the two centre-backs because we have to. Yeah, it's a weird team. When we went to Monaco, no one was on massive wage. Yes, the score's getting older, but it was not massive wages. I've come here and they've signed all the wrong players. The long-term deals like 200k a week, 150k a week. I'm not going to have the money to do what I need to do this season. So maybe that Victor bid is not good enough because we really should have gone for a right back. But I haven't been able to find a right back and it's now the 5th of August and I like getting my stuff done early. So we're in a very precarious position. I don't know what we're going to sign next. We definitely need a few more signings. The squad depth is a little bit meh. But yeah, look, we'll see how we line up on the opening day. That's probably when we're going to meet each other next day. YouTube is on the opening day for Real San Sebastian. And it's not often I come in after a chat. Pedro's received a bid from Benfica, which he's had no interest in going, and I've talked to him and turned to him and said, I've not registered you, you're not in my plans, please leave. And for the first time ever, a player's turn around and go, I can see it would be a good move for me, thanks boss. We have got a 7.75 mil bid in from Benfica plus a 91k per week. He's on 245. For 1 year and 10 months, I played 91k a week. I saved still over 150k basically. So look, see you later. It's 7 mil, but it's more the wage that comes out is ridiculous. Like potential wage saving of 475k in total here if people accept their bids. Because Claudio's received a bid as well, and he's got 120k a week, and it's only 5 mil. But the thing is, because the wage is so big, clubs don't want to really touch him, which is fine. Now, the reason this is all kicked off is I've made another signing for a position I don't need, but the guy is too good. We're scouting a lot of kids, we're scouting a lot of everything, because the squad needs more youth, because it's a bit older. Adrian Vera popped up. Yeah. 4.4 mil. I went in for him. There was Norwich was in for him, AC Milan were in for him, and a lot of other clubs are in for him. But I came in and said, mate, you'll be starting for me this year. And because of that, he said, okay, let's go do business. So he's my third foreign spot now, because you're looking at the new starting striker. Danny Schmidt come in, and as I mentioned, he could come in as a backup striker if we found the right guy. This is the right guy. He reminds me a lot of Castro. He reminds me a lot of, I picked Castro up for 4.4 mil. Castro was slightly a little bit better, but still raw. But with my 2 years at Dortmund, Castro was world class in destroying leagues, right? Destroying the Bundesliga. I think Adrian Vera is very good. Now, I'm going to compare the pair here for you before I cut away there. Diego Castro. And we're just going to compare him with Vera. And Adrian Vera is there. As you can see, there's a 23-year-old versus a 19-year-old, so there's still mountains of growth, but a kind of similar-ish sort of graph there. It's not but, similar sort of lines. I think at 23, it'll be very close. Like, if you have a look at both of them playing as an advanced forward on attack, obviously Castro's going to kick in because Castro is outrageous and our former striker. But 16, 14, 16, one's already 16. By the time he's 23, that's going to be 16 and higher finishing, you would imagine. Headering's very similar, we could get there. Long shots, yeah, I get that. Passing similar. And we've got way better technique with Adrian Vera as well. So very good footballer. Mentally, Castro has always been very good. But this kid's not bad. Anticipation's 14. We'll get to 15. Composure's 13. We'll probably get to 15 or 16. Decision making's very similar. Off the ball, we're working on it as of right now. That's what made Castro so good. This kid's probably still going to get the 15, 16. Physically, yes, this is where Castro is very dominant, where he's very good. But have a look at this at 19 years of age. 14 will become 15. 13 will be to 15 plus. 17 plays 19. Very similar. Jumping reach, look, depending on how he develops, can grow, but probably not. Pace is going to be similar. Stamina will probably be similar. Strength, obviously, Castro's a big boy and lots of weight behind him. Maybe not, but if you have a look at it all, by the time Adrian Vera, by the time we get to the end of this save, he'll be 23, 24, he's going to look very similar to Diego Castro. We picked Castro up for 4.4 mil from Nacional, who is got their best player at 22, so I'm just going to give him a quick scout because he's a right back and we're looking for a right back. But I think Adrian Vera is very similar and is going to be quite the mould of player, which means that if you look at this team now, as it's picked, if this is how the squad rolled around, because you allowed 12 on the bench for the league, this is what we would look like. I would be happy just that we need a backup right back. If we were to line up Dest, Danny Uch, hitting up Alberto, Joe Victor, Tyrone, Dita, Joe Felix, Song and Vera, there is experience with Felix, Kinia, Danny Uch, Dest, Chivalieri. Alberto's a club captain who's part of the mix of both. And then you've got the beautiful ability of Tyrone. You've got the Brazilian flair of Joe Victor. You've got, obviously, the young Song coming in, being his first team, I'm a main man role. And you've got Adrian Vera, who at the end of the year could be one of the best strikers in the league. So, yeah, I've also just going to put it out there that I've got Vera in for an 80 mil release fee. I will put a sneaky little comment in. He has a really good year, and Madrid or Barca come interested, we'd probably lose him for 80 because he's going to be that good. So, look, great signing. Puts us in a really, really promising position. We still need a right back. We still need to get rid of some of this bit more dead wood. And even though that might be what we build for the squad this year, I'm telling you right now, Hinny Up and Danny Uch, this is their one and only year with me. They'll be out the door next year unless they want to take massive wage cuts. YouTube, we have our last signing, and it's John Felipe Leon Zelatru. Oh, what a name that is as well. He's a young 20-year-old right back from France. He's been a little regen the whole save, and we just signed him as a backup in our right back with some potential for him to become even better than that as well. I would imagine he's got a very quirky second nationality. Yeah, that there. Yeah, he's good. But yeah, look, he's been at Lille the whole time. Hasn't played a few minutes in League One and played 21 games last year. 14 off the bench, but is not a bad player. Main reason for signing him, complete wing back on attack. Have a look at him. He is golden. He's got very well-rounded physicals that will become good, and he's mentally so switched on. There's only one stat that's not 11 plus, and that is off the ball. And he's also got great crossing. Has a first touch, does know how to mark, and also knows how to tackle. I am over the moon with that. I think that is absolutely fantastic. He's the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle. We're about to register him in as well. But your team would be this, and that would be your bench. And now because Joe Pedro's officially left, which by the way is fantastic, I'll get to show you the wage budget is under control massively. So we sold Joe Pedro, who's a great player but too much on wage. Vasil was not a bad player, but Zongo we already showed, and then Zatala was a big wage, and we've loaned out a couple. But here are your signings to recap it quickly. Song's come in, who looks fantastic and will learn the left wing role. Joey Victor scored an absolute belter in pre-season and looks great. Danny Schmidt looks good and will be the backup striker. Jean-Philippe Leon looks outrageous. Adrian Varr is the best signing of the window and will be your new starting striker. Ahmad Ofakor on loan as a left back with 19.5 mil to pick up in 2 years' time. And lastly, Tyrone is another great signing. 88 mil will be a fee from Dortmund if I want it. And I reckon by that stage he might be one of the best centre midfielders in the world. So that is a very good window. That leaves us in a position where the squad looks like this as well. That would be my perceived starting 11, and that would be my perceived backup. Be allowed to play players off the bench. That is Radicic, Leon, Niskil, Samir, who we have to use because of his contract situation. People forget that this guy's here just been injured. Thierry Anamut is a very good deep line playmaker, good amount of passing technique, very, very, very good at what he does. Never been capped by France, but he's a very good footballer. So there we go as well. Kind of like a new signing in there. And yeah, look, it's a pretty good team, and I'm very happy with it. That is for sure there as well. So what we're going to do here is end this episode here. It's been a great episode, the full rebuild. It's been an interesting one. We've managed to get the average age of the squad down, I would imagine, here slightly as well. Managed to jump our hippest now. Got it down from 28 to 26. There's still some older boys, but we've got some younger lads in there as well, and I think we're going to have a very good time with it, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on in our first season here. I'll see you guys for the next episode, which will be Real San Sebastian on the opening day. Till then, thank you very much. Give it a like, subscribe. Thank you, and goodbye.